How to manage your money like the 1%. 8 wealth systems. Here's a question that might keep you up at night. Why do two people earning the exact same salary end up in completely different financial realities? One builds wealth, freedom, and options. The other drowns in debt, stress, and paycheck-to-paycheck survival. It's not about luck. It's not about inheritance or some secret advantage. It's about one thing: how they manage their money. You see, the top 1% don't earn dramatically more than you think. Sure, some do, but many started exactly where you are right now: middle income, bills to pay, dreams to chase. The difference? They follow a system, a blueprint, a set of rules that the average person never learns. Most people manage money like this. Money comes in, money goes out. Rent, groceries, subscriptions, that coffee habit, maybe some savings if there's anything left, which there never is. They react. They survive. They hope next month will be different. The 1% manage money like this. Money comes in, and it gets divided immediately. A percentage goes to building wealth. A percentage goes to protection. A percentage goes to freedom. They don't react. They control. They don't hope. They plan. They don't survive. They multiply. And here's the truth that nobody tells you. You don't need $1 million salary to think like the 1%. You need their system. In this audiobook, How to Manage Your Money Like the Top 1%, you're going to learn exactly that system. 8 proven wealth systems that separate those who build empires from those who build death. You'll discover how to divide your income like the wealthy. Automate your wealth so discipline becomes irrelevant. Use compound growth to your advantage. Eliminate bad debt. Optimize what you keep. Protect what you've built, and scale your income to true financial freedom. If you're between 25 and 50, tired of spinning your wheels, watching your paycheck disappear, and wondering why wealth feels impossible, this is your roadmap. Before we dive deep, let me say this. If you're listening to this right now, you're already ahead of 95% of people. You're seeking answers. You're willing to learn. That's the first sign of someone destined to win. So here's what I need from you. Hit that like button right now. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the strategies coming next. And drop a comment telling me, what's your biggest money management challenge right now? Is it overspending? No savings plan? Debt? Let's build a community of people serious about wealth. All right, let's begin. Chapter 1. The 1% Money Philosophy. Let's start with the foundation, because if you don't understand how the 1% think about money, none of the systems will work for you. Here's the core difference. Poor people see money as the destination. Wealthy people see money as the vehicle. Think about that for a second. If money is your destination, you'll chase it forever. You'll work harder, stress more, sacrifice everything, and still feel like you're not enough, because the destination keeps moving. There's always another bill, another expense, another reason you need more. But if money is your vehicle, everything changes. A vehicle takes you somewhere. It gives you control. It creates options. The 1% don't worship money, they use it. They don't obsess over having it, they obsess over directing it. Let me give you a powerful way to think about this. Money is energy and control. Energy because it flows, it moves, it comes in, it goes out. And just like energy, it can be wasted or it can be harnessed. You can let it leak through your fingers on things that don't matter, or you can channel it toward things that multiply. Control, because wealth isn't about how much you make, it's about how much you command. The 1% control where their money goes. They control when it works. They control what it builds. Average people, they react to money. The wealthy direct it. Now let me show you the exact mindset differences between how most people think and how the 1% think.
Difference number 1, time perspective. Most people think, I need money now to pay for things now. The 1% think, I need money now to build systems that pay me forever. Difference number 2, earning philosophy. Most people think, I trade my time for money. The 1% think, I build assets that make money without my time. Difference number 3, spending behavior. Most people think, I deserve this. I worked hard. I'll buy it. The 1% think, does this purchase move me closer to freedom or further from it? Difference number 4, risk perception. Most people think, investing is risky. I'll keep my money safe in my checking account. The 1% think, not investing is the biggest risk. Inflation eats my wealth while I do nothing. Difference number 5, money's purpose. Most people think money is for spending and enjoying life. The 1% think money is for buying freedom, time, and choices. Do you see the pattern? It's not about being cheap. It's not about denying yourself. It's about intentionality. The 1% ask themselves one question with every dollar. Is this bringing me closer to freedom?
And here's the real definition of wealth that nobody talks about. Wealth is control plus options. It's not a number in your bank account. It's not a car or a house. Wealth is waking up and choosing what to do with your day. Wealth is saying no to things that drain you. Wealth is having 6 months of expenses saved so you're not one emergency away from disaster. Wealth is passive income, covering your bills so your time becomes yours again. Let me tell you a quick story to make this real. 2 people, same city, same age, same job, same $75,000 salary. Person A, let's call him Marcus, spends everything. Nice apartment, new car lease, dinners out, latest tech, trips on credit cards. He looks successful. His Instagram is fire. But at night, he's stressed. One missed paycheck and his world collapses. 10 years later, Marcus is still at $75,000, still stressed, still reacting. Person B, let's call her Elena, lives in a modest apartment, drives a reliable used car, cooks at home most nights. But here's what she does differently. She takes 20% of every paycheck and invests it. She automates her savings. She builds systems. 10 years later, Elena has $150,000 invested, passive income streams, and the freedom to take a year off if she wants. Same salary, completely different life. That's not luck. That's philosophy. That's the 1% mindset in action. So, before we go further, ask yourself, am I treating money as the destination or the vehicle? Am I reacting to it or controlling it? Am I spending for today or building for tomorrow? Because the moment you shift your philosophy, everything else becomes easier. The systems we're about to cover, they only work if you truly believe that money is a tool for freedom, not a trophy to chase. Remember, the 1% don't have more willpower than you. They have better systems and a clearer philosophy. Let's build yours. Chapter 2, System Number 1, the Income Division Rule. All right, now we get into the systems. And system number 1 is the foundation of everything. If you master this, you've already won half the battle. It's called the Income Division Rule. And here's what it means. The moment money hits your account, it gets divided. Not randomly, not emotionally, systematically. The 1% don't ask, can I afford to save this month? They don't hope there's money left over. They divide their income the second it arrives, and they follow a formula. The formula I'm going to teach you is the 70-20-10 rule. 70% for life, 20% for investment, 10% for freedom. Let me break down each part so you understand not just what to do, but why it works. 70% life.
This is your living expenses: rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, the essentials. This is survival, but survival done right. Now here's the key. The 1% design their life to fit within this 70%. They don't let lifestyle inflate and take over everything. They set boundaries. If your rent is eating 50% of your income, you're not following the system, you're breaking it. Most people do it backwards. They pick the apartment they want, the car they want, the lifestyle they want, and then try to make the math work. The 1%? They decide the percentage first, then build their lifestyle around it. That's control. 20%, investment. This is where wealth is built. This is the money that works for you. Stocks, index funds, real estate, retirement accounts, business investments, whatever vehicle makes sense for you. This 20% is untouchable. It's not for emergencies. It's not for vacations. It's not for that thing you really, really want. This money has one job: multiply. The 1% understands something most people don't. Wealth isn't built by earning more, it's built by investing consistently. A person making $60,000 who invests 20% will end up wealthier than someone making $120,000 who invests nothing. Because here's the truth. It's not what you make, it's what you keep and grow. 10%, freedom. This is your freedom fund, your screw you money, your escape hatch. This is the money that buys you options. Some people call this an emergency fund. Some call it financial independence money. I call it freedom because that's what it gives you. Freedom to leave a toxic job. Freedom to take a risk. Freedom to say no. The 1% never feel trapped because they always have this fund growing. They know that freedom isn't about having $1 million, it's about having enough to breathe, to choose, to pivot. Now, let me tell you why most people fail at this. Most people spend 100% of what they make, sometimes 110% if you count credit cards. Why? Because they never divided it in the first place. Money comes in as one big lump, and psychologically, it feels like it's all available. So they spend on rent, then groceries, then that dinner, then those shoes, then subscriptions, then, and suddenly it's gone.
They tell themselves, I'll save what's left. But there's never anything left. The 1% flip the script. They divide first. They pay themselves first. 70-20-10 happens automatically, and only then do they live on what remains. It's not about discipline. It's about design. Let me give you a practical example. Let's say you earn $4,000 a month after taxes. Here's how the 70-20-10 rule works. 70%, $2,800. This covers rent, utilities, food, transportation, insurance, everything you need to live. If your expenses are higher than this, you have two choices: earn more or cut expenses. The 1% do both. 20%, $800. This goes straight into investments, every single month, no exceptions. You automate this transfer the day you get paid. In 1 year, that's $9,600 invested. In 10 years, with compound growth, that's over $150,000. That's wealth. 10%, $400, this goes into your freedom fund. In 1 year, that's $4,800. In 2 years, that's almost $10,000. That's breathing room. That's options. That's the difference between feeling stuck and feeling powerful. Same income, but now you're not just surviving, you're building. Here's your action step right now. I want you to do this today, not tomorrow, today. Open your banking app. Look at your last paycheck. Calculate 70%, 20%, and 10%. Write it down, then set up automatic transfers. The day your paycheck hits, 20% moves to your investment account. 10% moves to your freedom fund. What's left, your 70%, that's what you live on. If you do this, you're now managing money like the 1%.
You've taken control. You've stopped reacting and started directing. And here's what's going to happen. In 3 months, you won't even miss that 30%. Your brain will adapt, your lifestyle will adjust, and your wealth? It'll be growing on autopilot. Remember, you're not depriving yourself. You're designing your freedom. This is system number 1. Master it, and everything else gets easier. Chapter 3. System number 2. The automatic wealth machine. Let's talk about the most powerful wealth-building principle you'll ever learn. It's called pay yourself first. Most people pay everyone else first. The landlord, the credit card company, the utility company, the grocery store, the streaming services, everyone gets paid. And if there's anything left, which there never is, they pay themselves.
Account number 3, the investment account. This is your 20%, the wealth building account. The money here goes directly into index funds, ETFs, retirement accounts, or whatever investment vehicle you choose. This account never gets touched for spending. Its only job is to grow. Account number 4, the Freedom Fund. This is your 10%, your emergency fund, your options fund, the money that buys you breathing room. This grows quietly in a high-yield savings account until you have 6 to 12 months of expenses saved. After that, it keeps growing, giving you even more freedom. Account number 5, optional, the growth account. Some of the 1% add a 5th account for education, skills, or business investments. This is money spent on things that increase your earning power. Courses, certifications, coaching, tools. If you're serious about scaling income, this account accelerates everything. Now here's what makes this system unstoppable. It's automatic. You set it up once. You link your accounts. You schedule the transfers, and then it runs forever without you lifting a finger. Your paycheck hits. 20% moves to investments. 10% moves to freedom. 70% stays for spending. Every single time. No decisions, no willpower, no failure. Let me give you a real scenario. Let's say you earn $5,000 a month. Here's what happens the moment that money hits your account. $1,000 automatically transfers to your investment account. You don't see it. You don't touch it. It's gone, working for you. $500 automatically transfers to your Freedom Fund, building your safety net 1 month at a time. $3,500 stays in your spending account. This is what you live on. This is your budget. In 1 year, you've invested $12,000 and saved $6,000 without thinking about it once. That's $18,000 toward wealth while you focused on living your life. In 5 years, you've invested $60,000 and have $30,000 in your Freedom Fund. Add compound growth, and you're looking at over $100,000 in net worth. That's life-changing, and it all happened automatically.
Here's the challenge I'm giving you right now, the 30-day automation challenge. For the next 30 days, I want you to set up this exact system. Create the accounts, link them, set the automatic transfers to happen the day after your paycheck arrives. Then live on your 70% and watch what happens. I promise you this. After 30 days, you won't go back. You'll see money growing in accounts you used to drain. You'll feel the stress lift because you're finally in control. You'll realize that wealth building isn't hard. It's automatic. The 1% aren't more disciplined than you. They're more systematic. They've removed the human error. They've built machines that work while they sleep. Now it's your turn. Before we move to the next system, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now and tell me, what's your biggest spending category? Where does most of your money go? Rent? Food? Subscriptions? Entertainment? Be honest, because once you know where it's going, you can take back control. Let's keep building. Chapter 4. System number 3, the compound growth plan. Albert Einstein once said, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it." Let me tell you why this might be the most important financial concept you'll ever learn. Compound growth is the secret weapon of the 1%. It's the reason a middle-class investor can retire a millionaire. It's the reason time matters more than timing. It's the reason starting today, even small, beats waiting for the perfect moment. Here's what compound growth means. Your money makes money. And then that money makes money. And then that money makes more money. It's exponential. It snowballs. And the longer it runs, the more powerful it becomes. Most people think wealth is built by working harder or earning more. The 1% know better. Wealth is built by letting your money work for you over and over, year after year. Let me show you the math, because once you see these numbers, you'll never look at investing the same way again. Let's say you invest $500 every single month into an index fund that averages 10% annual return. That's realistic. That's what the S&P 500 has averaged over the long term.
After year 1, you've invested $6,000. With growth, you have around $6,300. Not life-changing yet. You might even think, is this worth it? After year 5, you've invested $30,000, but your account, it's worth about $38,000. You just made $8,000 without working for it. That's compound growth starting to kick in. After year 10, you've invested $60,000, but your account is now worth over $102,000. You made $42,000 in pure growth. Your money made almost as much as you put in. After year 20, you've invested $120,000. Your account, it's worth over $380,000. You made $260,000 in growth. Your money worked harder than you did. After year 30, you've invested $180,000. Your account is now worth over $1.1 million. You made $920,000 from compound growth alone. Let me say that again. You put in $180,000 over 30 years. The market turned it into $1.1 million. That's the eighth wonder of the world. Now, I know what you're thinking. 30 years? I don't have 30 years. Here's the truth. You have more time than you think. And even if you don't have 30 years, you have 10, you have 5, you have today. Because here's what the 1% understand that most people don't. Starting small beats waiting to start big. Let me prove it. Person A waits 10 years to start investing because they want to have more money to invest. At age 35, they start investing $1,000 a month. Person B starts immediately at age 25, investing just $500 a month. By age 65, who has more? Person B, by a lot. Even though Person A invested twice as much per month, Person B had 10 extra years of compound growth. Those 10 years made hundreds of thousands of dollars of difference. Time beats amount, always. That's why the 1% never stop. They don't pause when the market dips. They don't take breaks when life gets busy. They don't wait for the right time. They invest consistently, month after month, year after year, because they know the system works. Here's the formula of the 1% live by. Patience plus consistency equals wealth. Not luck, not timing, not a hot stock tip. Patience and consistency. You don't need to be brilliant. You don't need to predict the market. You don't need to take huge risks. You just need to start, stay consistent, and let time do the heavy lifting. Let me give you another example that'll blow your mind. Two friends, Sarah and Mike, both 25 years old. Sarah invests $200 a month from age 25 to 35, just 10 years. Then she stops.
never adds another dollar, just lets it grow. Mike waits. He starts investing $200 a month at age 35 and continues until age 65. 30 years of contributions. Who ends up with more at age 65? Sarah, even though she only invested for 10 years and Mike invested for 30. Why? Because Sarah's money had an extra 10 years to compound. Those early years are worth more than all the later years combined. That's the power of starting now. So here's what I need you to understand. It doesn't matter if you can only invest $50 a month right now. It doesn't matter if you're starting at 35 or 45. It doesn't matter if you feel behind. What matters is that you start today. Because 10 years from now, you'll wish you started today. 20 years from now, those small contributions will have turned into serious wealth. 30 years from now, you'll be financially free while everyone else is still working. The 1% don't have a secret investing strategy. They have discipline. They have patience. They have the wisdom to start small and never stop. Here's your action step. Open an investment account today. If you already have one, increase your automatic contribution by just $50. That's it, $50. Then forget about it. Let the system run. Let compound growth do what it does best. Check your account once a quarter if you want, but don't obsess. Don't panic when the market dips. Don't try to time it. Just keep contributing, month after month, year after year. That's the plan. That's system number 3. Remember, the best time to start investing was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. Patience plus consistency equals wealth. Start small, never stop. Let compound growth build your empire.
Chapter 5, System Number 4, The Debt Strategy. Let's talk about something most people get completely wrong. Debt. Here's what the average person believes. All debt is bad. Avoid it at all costs. If you have debt, you failed. Here's what the 1% know. Debt is a tool. Use it wrong, and it destroys you. Use it right, and it builds empires. The difference between the poor and the wealthy isn't that one has debt and the other doesn't. It's that they use completely different kinds of debt. Let me explain. There are 2 types of debt, good debt and bad debt. Bad debt takes money out of your pocket every month. It buys things that lose value. It's consumption disguised as necessity. Credit cards for clothes you don't need. Car loans for vehicles you can't afford. Personal loans for vacations you'll forget. This debt chains you. It drains you. It keeps you poor. Good debt puts money into your pocket every month. It buys assets that appreciate or generate income. A mortgage on a rental property that pays you cash flow. A business loan that funds growth and profit. Student loans for a degree that triples your income. This debt works for you. It leverages your wealth. It makes you richer. The 1% borrow millions, but they borrow smart. They use debt to acquire assets that make more than the debt costs. The average person borrows thousands, but they borrow dumb. They use debt to buy liabilities that cost them every single month. So here's the question you need to ask every time you consider debt. Will this make me money or cost me money? If it makes you money, it might be good debt. If it costs you money, it's bad debt. Period. Now, let me talk about the trap most people fall into. The consumer debt trap. You want something? You don't have the cash, so you swipe the card. I'll pay it off next month, you tell yourself. But next month comes, and there's another expense, another want, another swipe. Before you know it, you're carrying a balance. Then that balance grows. The interest piles up, and suddenly you're paying $200 a month just to service debt on things you barely remember buying. This is the trap, and it's designed to keep you stuck. Credit card companies love this. They make billions off people who think a $5,000 limit means they have $5,000 to spend. But here's the reality. If you carry a balance at 20% interest, that $5,000 TV you bought actually costs you $7,000 by the time you pay it off. You just gave away $2,000 for no reason. The 1% never fall for this. Why? Because they understand the math. They know that high-interest debt is financial poison. So if you're carrying bad debt right now, listen closely. We're going to eliminate it. And there are two proven strategies, the snowball method and the avalanche method.
The snowball method. List all your debts from smallest to largest. Pay minimums on everything except the smallest debt. Attack that one with everything you've got. When it's gone, take that payment and roll it into the next smallest debt. Keep going. The momentum builds. The snowball grows. Psychologically, this works because you see wins fast. The avalanche method. List all your debts from highest interest rate to lowest. Pay minimums on everything except the highest interest debt. Destroy that one first. When it's gone, move to the next highest rate. Mathematically, this saves you the most money because you're killing the most expensive debt first. Both work. Pick the one that fits your personality. If you need quick wins to stay motivated, go snowball. If you want maximum efficiency, go avalanche. But here's the key. You must attack it aggressively. Not casually, not when you have extra money, aggressively. Let me give you a real scenario. Let's say you have $30,000 in debt spread across 3 sources. Credit card, $8,000 at 22% interest. Minimum payment, $200 per month. Car loan, $15,000 at 7% interest. Minimum payment, $300 per month. Personal loan, $7,000 at 12% interest. Minimum payment, $150 per month. Total minimum payments, $650 per month. If you only pay minimums, it'll take you over 10 years to pay this off, and you'll pay thousands in interest. But let's say you attack it. You find an extra $350 per month by cutting subscriptions, eating out less, selling stuff you don't use. Now you have $1,000 per month to throw at debt. Using the avalanche method, month 1 to 12, pay minimums on the car and personal loan. Throw $650 per month at the credit card, the highest interest. It's gone in 12 months. Month 13 to 24. Now take that $650 and add it to the personal loan. You're paying $800 per month. It's gone in 10 months. Month 25 to 36. Now take that $800 and add it to the car loan. You're paying $1,100 per month. It's gone in 14 months. Total time, 36 months. 3 years. You're debt-free. You saved thousands in interest. You reclaimed your financial life. Now, let's talk about how the 1% use debt as leverage. They borrow money to buy assets that appreciate or generate cash flow. A rental property that costs $300,000. They put down $60,000, borrow $240,000 at 4% interest. The rent covers the mortgage plus maintenance. After 20 years, they own a property worth $500,000. They used the bank's money to build wealth.
That's leverage. That's good debt. That's how the wealthy think. But here's the rule. Never use leverage for consumption, only for assets. So here's your action plan right now. Step 1. List every debt you have. Amount, interest rate, minimum payment. Step 2. Choose your method. Snowball or avalanche. Step 3. Find extra money. Cut one expense, sell something, work a side gig, get that extra $200, $300, $500 a month. Step 4. Attack. Pay minimums on everything except your target debt. Destroy that target. Step 5. Repeat until you're free. And once you're debt-free, never go back. Use credit cards only if you pay them off in full every month. Borrow only for assets. Live by this rule. If you can't afford it twice, you can't afford it once. Remember, bad debt traps you, good debt leverages you. The 1% know the difference. Now you do too. Let's eliminate your bad debt and start building wealth that lasts. Chapter 6. System number 5. Tax optimization. Here's a truth that will change how you think about wealth. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. You can earn $200,000 a year and end up broke. You can earn $80,000 a year and become a millionaire. The difference? Understanding taxes. The 1% have a philosophy. Earn aggressively, keep legally. They don't cheat, they don't evade, they optimize. They use every legal tool, every deduction, every tax-advantaged account the government offers, and you can too. Let me show you how. First, you need to understand that not all income is taxed the same way. There are 3 types of income, and the tax treatment is completely different. Type 1. Earned income. This is your salary, your paycheck, your W-2. This is the most heavily taxed income in America. The government takes federal income tax, state tax, Social Security, Medicare before you even see the money. If you make $100,000 in earned income, you might take home $70,000 after taxes. That's a 30% hit.
Type 2. Business income. This is income from a business you own, an LLC, a sole proprietorship, a side hustle. Here's where it gets interesting. Business income allows deductions. Your home office, your equipment, your travel, your software. These expenses reduce your taxable income. If you make $100,000 in business income and have $30,000 in legitimate expenses, you're only taxed on $70,000. Same gross, but you keep more. Type 3. Investment income. This is capital gains and dividends from stocks, real estate, and other investments. Long-term capital gains, investments held over a year, are taxed at much lower rates than earned income, often 15% or even 0%, depending on your bracket. If you make $100,000 in long-term capital gains, you might only pay $15,000 in taxes. That's half what you'd pay on earned income. Do you see the pattern? The 1% structure their income to minimize the high tax buckets and maximize the low tax buckets. They don't just work for a salary. They own businesses. They invest. They diversify income types strategically. Now let me talk about the most powerful wealth-building tool the government gives you: tax-advantaged accounts. The 401k, or traditional IRA, you contribute pre-tax dollars. If you make $80,000 in business income and contribute $10,000 to your 401k, you're only taxed on $70,000 this year. That money grows tax-free until retirement. When you withdraw it, you pay taxes then, but likely at a lower rate because you're retired and earning less. The Roth IRA, you contribute after-tax dollars, but here's the magic. It grows tax-free forever. And when you withdraw in retirement, 0 taxes. You put in $7,000 today, it grows to $50,000 over 30 years, and you take out $50,000 tax-free. The 1% love this because it's a hedge against future tax increases. The HSA, Health Savings Account. This is the most underrated account in America. You contribute pre-tax dollars, it grows tax-free, and if you use it for medical expenses, you withdraw it tax-free. It's triple tax-advantaged. The 1% max this out at $4,150 for individuals, $8,330 for families, and let it grow like a retirement account. The 529 plan. If you have kids, this is for education. You contribute after tax, but it grows tax-free and withdrawals for education are tax-free.
The 1% use this to pay for college without getting destroyed by taxes. These accounts exist because the government wants you to save for retirement, health, and education. Use them. The 1% do.
Now let's talk about deductions and expenses. If you have a side business or freelance income, you can deduct legitimate business expenses. Home office space, internet, phone, software subscriptions, equipment, travel for business purposes, meals with clients. The key word here is legitimate. The IRS isn't stupid. You can't deduct your family vacation as a business trip unless it actually is. But if you travel for a conference, meet clients, or conduct real business, deduct it. The 1% track every expense. They save receipts. They categorize properly. They work with accountants who know the rules, and they save thousands because of it. Here's the mindset shift. The tax code isn't written to punish you. It's written to incentivize certain behaviors: retirement saving, business ownership, investing, healthcare planning. The 1% read the code and say, how can I do what the government wants and keep more of my money? The average person ignores the code and hands over 30 to 40% of their income without question. Let me give you a real example. Two people, both earn $100,000 a year. Person A is a W-2 employee, takes the standard deduction, doesn't contribute to retirement accounts, pays $28,000 in federal and state taxes, takes home $72,000. Person B also earns $100,000, but $50,000 is W-2 and $50,000 is side business income. They max out a 401k at $23,000. They contribute $7,000 to an HSA. They deduct $15,000 in legitimate business expenses. Their taxable income? $55,000. They pay about $12,000 in taxes, takes home $88,000. Same gross income, person B keeps $16,000 more every year. Over 20 years, that's $320,000 more in their pocket. That's life-changing. But here's the critical part. Everything person B did was 100% legal. They didn't cheat. They didn't lie. They optimized. Now, a warning. Stay within legal boundaries. Work with a CPA or tax professional. Don't get creative with fake deductions. Don't hide income. The IRS has seen every trick, and penalties are severe. Optimize legally always. Here's your action step. This year, do 3 things. 1. Max out at least one tax-advantaged account. 401k, IRA, HSA, pick one and contribute the maximum. 2. If you have side income, track every business expense. Use an app. Save receipts. Deduct what's legal. 3. Meet with a tax professional, not just for filing, but for planning. Ask, how can I legally reduce my tax burden? Remember, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. The 1% keep more because they optimize. Now you will too.
Chapter 7. System number 6. The Protection Shield. Building wealth is half the game. Protecting wealth is the other half. You can do everything right. Save aggressively, invest consistently, optimize taxes, and lose it all in one unexpected event. A job loss, a medical emergency, a lawsuit, a market crash, a natural disaster. The 1% understands something most people ignore. Wealth without protection is just a house of cards waiting to collapse. That's why system number 6 is the Protection Shield. This is how you defend what you've built. This is how you survive the storms that destroy everyone else. Let me start with the foundation, the emergency fund. Most financial experts will tell you to save 3 to 6 months of expenses. The 1%? They save 6 to 12 months. Why? Because they know that real emergencies don't resolve in 90 days. Let's be honest. If you lose your job, how long will it really take to find a new one at the same income level? If you have a major medical issue, how long until you're back to full capacity? If the economy crashes, how long until things stabilize? 3 months isn't enough. 6 months is the minimum. 12 months is freedom. Here's what an emergency fund gives you. Options. Power. Peace. You can walk away from a toxic job because you're not desperate. You can negotiate from strength because you're not broke. You can take a calculated risk because you have a cushion. You can sleep at night because one bad month won't destroy you. The 1% never feel trapped. They always have breathing room. That's by design. So here's the goal. 6 to 12 months of essential expenses, not your full lifestyle, but what you need to survive. Rent, food, utilities, insurance, minimum debt payments. If that's $3,000 a month, your emergency fund should be $18,000 to $36,000. Keep it liquid. High-yield savings account, money market fund, somewhere safe and accessible. This isn't for investing. This is for emergencies.
Now, let's talk about insurance. I know, it's boring. It feels like a waste of money. Until it's not. The 1% don't see insurance as an expense. They see it as a protection shield against catastrophic loss. Health insurance. One medical emergency without insurance can cost $100,000 or more. Cancer treatment, surgery, extended hospital stays, it wipes people out. The 1% carries solid health insurance. High-deductible plans paired with HSAs work great if you're healthy. Comprehensive plans if you have ongoing needs. Either way, they're covered. Life insurance. If you have dependents, a spouse, kids, anyone relying on your income, you need term life insurance. Not whole life, not universal life, term. It's cheap, simple, and does the job. If something happens to you, your family isn't financially destroyed. The 1% carry enough to replace their income for 10 to 20 years. Disability insurance. What if you can't work? What if an injury or illness takes you out for months or years? Most people are one accident away from financial ruin. Disability insurance replaces a percentage of your income if you're unable to work. The 1% have this locked in through their employer or privately. Homeowners or renters insurance. Your home and possessions have value. Fire, theft, natural disasters, they happen. The 1% protect their assets. If you own, you have homeowners insurance. If you rent, you have renters insurance. It's non-negotiable. Umbrella insurance. This is for extra liability protection. If someone sues you and wins beyond your standard coverage, an umbrella policy covers the excess. The 1% carry $1 million to $5 million in umbrella coverage. It's cheap, often under $500 a year, and protects against life-altering lawsuits. Here's the principle. You insure against catastrophic loss, not minor inconvenience. You don't need insurance for a $200 phone repair. You do need insurance if a $200,000 medical bill could bankrupt you. Now let's talk about diversification. You've heard the phrase, don't put all your eggs in one basket. The 1% live by this. They don't have all their money in one stock. They don't have all their wealth in one property. They don't rely on one income source. They spread risk. If one investment crashes, they're fine. 90% of their portfolio is still intact. If one income stream dries up, they're fine. They have others. If one sector collapses, they're fine. They're diversified across sectors. Diversification isn't about making the most money. It's about not losing everything.
Here's what diversification looks like in practice. Stocks, spread across U.S., international, large cap, small cap, growth, value. Bonds, government and corporate for stability. Real estate, physical property or REITs for income and appreciation. Cash, emergency fund and short-term reserves. Alternative assets. Some allocate to commodities, crypto, or private equity, but cautiously. The 1% don't gamble. They don't bet the farm on a single idea. They manage risk. And here's the difference between risk management and gambling.
Risk management is calculated, diversified, and protected. Gambling is all in, emotional, and reckless. The gambler says, "I'm putting everything into this one stock. It's going to 10x." The 1% say, "I'm allocating 5% here, 5% there, and keeping the rest safe." The gambler loses everything in one crash. The 1% weather every storm. Let me give you a crisis scenario. It's 2008. The financial crisis hits. The market crashes 50%. Two investors, same starting portfolio of $500,000. Investor A was 100% in stocks, no diversification, no emergency fund. When the market crashed, his portfolio dropped to $250,000. He panicked, sold at the bottom, and locked in massive losses. Then he lost his job. No emergency fund. He had to pull from what was left to survive. By 2010, he was broke. Investor B was diversified. 60% stocks, 30% bonds, 10% cash. When the market crashed, her stocks dropped, but bonds held steady. Her portfolio dropped to $350,000. Painful, but not catastrophic. She had a 12-month emergency fund. She didn't panic. She didn't sell. She held through the storm. By 2012, she was back to $500,000. By 2020, she had over $1 million. Same starting point. One survived, one didn't. The difference? Protection. Here's the balance the 1% maintain. Offense and defense. Offense is wealth building, investing, growing, taking calculated risks. Defense is wealth protecting, emergency funds, insurance, diversification. You need both. If you only play offense, one disaster wipes you out. If you only play defense, you never build wealth. The 1% allocate aggressively while young. More stocks, more risk, more growth. As they build wealth, they shift toward protection, more bonds, more diversification, more stability. But they never neglect defense.
Here's your action plan. 1. Build your emergency fund to 6 months minimum, 12 if possible. 2. Review your insurance, health, life, disability, property. Fill the gaps. 3. Diversify your investments. Don't be 100% in anything. 4. Stress test your finances. Ask yourself, if I lost my job tomorrow, could I survive 6 months? If the market dropped 30%, would I panic or hold? Remember, the 1% don't just build wealth, they protect it. And now, so will you. Chapter 8, Systems 7 through 8, Growth and Freedom. We've reached the final chapter, and this is where everything comes together. This is where wealth transforms into freedom. Let me introduce you to the last two systems. System number 7, Income Multiplication, and System number 8, the Time Freedom Formula. System number 7, Income Multiplication. Here's a fact the 1% live by. Relying on one income source is the riskiest financial position you can be in. One job, one paycheck, one stream. If that dries up, you're done. The 1% build multiple income streams. 3 minimum, 5 to 7 ideally. Not because they're greedy, because they're smart. Here's what multiple income streams look like. Stream 1, your primary job or business. Stream 2, investment income, dividends, capital gains, interest. Stream 3, rental income from real estate. Stream 4, side business or freelance work. Stream 5, royalties, digital products or content creation. Stream 6, peer-to-peer lending or alternative investments. Stream 7, consulting, coaching, or expertise monetization. You don't need all 7, but you need more than one. Why? Because diversification protects you. If one stream disappears, you still have income. If one grows, your wealth accelerates. And the more streams you have,
the faster you reach freedom. Start with 2, build to 3. Scale from there. The 1% don't stop at comfortable, they stop at unstoppable. System number 8, the time freedom formula. Here's the ultimate goal. Financial freedom isn't about how much money you have, it's about how much time you control. The 1% measure wealth in time, not dollars. They ask, how long could I survive without working? How much of my day do I control? Can I choose what I do and when I do it? That's freedom. And the formula is simple. Passive income is greater than living expenses equals financial freedom. When your investments, rental income, dividends, and systems generate enough to cover your lifestyle, you're free. You don't have to work, you choose to work. Let's say your essential expenses are $5,000 a month. When your passive income hits $5,000 a month, you've won. You can quit your job, travel the world, start a passion project, spend time with family, whatever you want.
That's the finish line. And the 1% cross it by building systems, not chasing paychecks. Here's your roadmap. Years 1 through 5, foundation phase. Focus on systems 1 through 4. Divide your income, automate savings, start investing, eliminate bad debt, build your emergency fund, get the basics rock solid. Years 5 through 10, growth phase. Focus on systems 5 through 7. Optimize taxes, protect your wealth, start building additional income streams, scale your investments. Compound growth is accelerating now. Years 10 through 20, freedom phase. Focus on system 8. Your passive income is growing. You're diversified. You're protected. You're close to or past financial independence. Now you're designing life on your terms. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a get-rich-certain plan. The 1% don't chase shortcuts. They follow systems. They stay consistent, and they reach freedom while everyone else is still trying to figure it out. So here's my final message to you. Start now. Not when you have more money, not when the timing is perfect, not when you feel ready. Start today. Imperfect action beats perfect planning every single time. Pick one system, just one. Maybe it's automating your savings. Maybe it's paying off debt. Maybe it's opening an investment account. Whatever it is, do it today. Then next week, add another system, then another. Build momentum, build habits, build wealth. The 1% aren't superhuman. They're systematic. And now you have the same systems they use. Before we close, I need to hear from you. Drop a comment right now and tell me, which system are you implementing first? What's your biggest takeaway from this audiobook? What's one action you're committing to today? Let's build a community of people serious about financial freedom. Subscribe to this channel, share this with someone who needs it, and let's walk this journey together. Because freedom isn't built alone. It's built with others who believe the same thing you do. That wealth is possible, that systems work, that your future is in your control. You've learned how to manage your money like the top 1%. Now, go execute. Start small, stay consistent, build systems, protect what you create, multiply your income, and claim your time. Financial freedom is waiting. Go get it.